Old Man River says, have you heard anything about Minnesota and Aaron Rodgers yet? So, guys, as you know by now, the rumors that have been flying around, especially here on Man Hour, guys, maybe some of them are fabricated, some of them maybe are throwing spaghetti at a wall, but Minnesota Vikings and Aaron Rodgers seem to be a match made in heaven. Let's just be honest about it, Old Man River. But today, I don't know who the source was, but Hoffy posted something in our Pigskin Pundit chat that said that Aaron Rodgers is still open to talking about the Minnesota Vikings to play for 1 year in front of J.J. McCarthy and help lead them to the Super Bowl. Now, this was on NFL.com, so obviously there is some validity behind that, right? This is not a troll account. This is not, the Stadium Rants or whatever, right? This is the actual NFL.com. So when I heard this, Old Man River, and when I seen it, I was like, you know what? It makes plausible sense. It makes very, very plausible sense that Aaron Rodgers is still keeping his options open, making himself feel wanted by the Minnesota Vikings and or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because let's just be honest, when we heard of J.J. McCarthy's knee injury last season, right? It was during the preseason. I think it was preseason game number 2, right? When he tore his meniscus. Normally, a meniscus tear is you go in and you repair it, you're back in about 6, maybe 9 weeks tops, right? And then if sometimes it's just a little toenail tear, and they don't even fix it at all, right? They maybe go out there and scope it and cut the little toenail off, but to see that J.J. McCarthy was out for the whole rookie season with the meniscus tear, and he has just now stepped foot back onto the field this March to get training done. It seems a little worrisome to me, right? And if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, my Super Bowl window with Aaron Rodgers is wide open. Let's just be honest. With Aaron Rodgers, that Super Bowl window with the Minnesota Vikings is wide open. You have JJ, which is arguably the best receiver in the NFL. You have Jordan Addison, which I claim is the best number 2 receiver in the NFL. I may want to step back off that like a little bit, but he's definitely a top 5 guy. And then you see Aaron Jones, right, just re-signed. They're adding depth to that offensive line. Their defense is still pretty stout. With Brian Flores calling the plays up there, the defensive plays, in Minnesota, they are going to be a very, very stout defense. So why not entertain the idea of bringing Aaron Rodgers in? Why not entertain of having a, quote, quarterback competition? Because let's just be honest. We don't know J.J. McCarthy's health. We don't know J.J. McCarthy's how well he will do in the NFL, right? He missed all of his rookie season. No snaps, very little film, no practice, no on-field work. He will basically be a rookie this season. And if you are the Minnesota Vikings, you have to say, man, we did pretty damn good with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was a top 5 quarterback. When we brought Sam Darnold in, he was not a top 5 quarterback. He was not. Let's just be honest. He was not a top 5 quarterback. Hell, he wasn't even top 45. He may even not have been top 65 or 69. Stupid. But what do you think they could do with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers? Yes, I understand Aaron Rodgers had a terrible seasons in New York. Those 3 plays and then just a miserable, cancerous season in New York last season. But if you want to go beyond that, if you want to look at the stats, right, he was a top 10 quarterback stat-wise. He was a top 10 quarterback stat-wise. Now, my eyes tell me that he was not a top 10 quarterback. My gut tells me he was not a top 10 quarterback. His nice little flea flicker and back over to him and pass to old Devontae Adams for a 7-yard loss is not a top 10 quarterback. But with Kevin O'Connell, JJ, Aaron Rodgers, they married back up, right? Jordan Addison, nice offensive line, pretty damn good defense. With Aaron Rodgers, this is definitely a Super Bowl, right? Now, I'm not saying they could not do that with JJ. I'm not saying that. We don't know what J.J. McCarthy is going to be. We don't know how his offseason is going to go. We don't know how his preseason is going to go, or OTA work, or minicamp, or mandatory. We don't know any of that. The truth is that we know what we can get from Aaron Rodgers. even if it's a glimpse of what we saw in Green Bay. MVP Aaron Rodgers, right? Back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings can win the Super Bowl. So, Old Man River, I have not heard anything with him visiting or them reaching out the old olive branch or doing this, right? But if you flash back to 2 weeks ago, right? It's been 2 weeks? Yeah. End of March, early April, the general manager basically said, hey, we like JJ, but we want to we still want to grow the room. And he had a plethora of words to like say, but in a long story short, he's like he said, JJ is good. We can win with JJ, but Aaron Rodgers, come on over, big guy. Come on over, Aaron Rodgers. We could use you, baby. That is what he was saying. But let's see. I mean, it is tough. And just like what Let's Go Sports says, what's up, Let's Go Sports? He says the Vikings need a good emergency backup quarterback plan for the season to be prepared for when JJ McCarthy to suck. Hope he does well, but after that injury, being a rookie, he could still suck. And honestly, Let's Go Sports, if you brought in a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starter. There's no question about it. Aaron Rodgers is not going to sign a $25, $30 million deal to go to Minnesota to sit the bench. It is what it is. If you're looking for an old veteran quarterback to come in and sit the bench and be that emergency backup guy, you got Ryan Tannehill still out there, right? You can make a trade for Kirk Cousins still. That's not out of the realm either. Bring Kirk Cousins back to Minnesota. Yes, he kind of F'd you last season, but you know what? Give the whole NFL a big F you when the Falcons colluded, right? The Vikings got the 4th round pick, convert that 4th round pick into Kirk Cousins and a Super Bowl win. That's tough, baby. That is tough. But we will see. We'll see. Real McCoy says Rodgers is determined to destroy his legacy. Just get out while you have a little bit of face left. Rodgers' best days are long gone. And Real McCoy, honestly, you are probably right? There is such thing as just playing too long, right? When like Michael Jordan retired the first time, come back and won the three-peat, and then he retired again, but then come back to the Washington Wizards, right? Or the Washington, like, we don't want to remember those 3 or 4 years, right? We don't want to remember Julio Jones playing with the Eagles, right? We don't want to remember Jerry Rice being a Oakland Raider. Like, we don't want that. Like, yes, definitely get out while you can, right? You've wrote in your legacy. You are clearly a top 5 quarterback of like all time. Get out while you still can. However, if he were to get a second Super Bowl ring, there are only 3 quarterbacks in the entire history of the NFL that have 2 or plus more Super Bowl rings that are not in the Hall of Fame. If Aaron Rodgers could get that second Super Bowl ring, he is a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked. I think that is what he is after. I think he is after that next Super Bowl ring. I don't think he cares about the stats. I don't care. He cares about the limelight or the glam light or whatever. He ultimately wants a Super Bowl ring, and that's what's ultimately is great for a player, is to get that. We are in the most manliest of like sports, and we want a freaking ring on our finger. Like, why? Like, but whatever. But yes, real McCoy. Long story short, I agree with you, but don't agree with you at the same time. I think if Aaron Rodgers were to go to a team like the Minnesota Vikings, or go to a team like the San Francisco 49ers, to go to a team like the Dallas Cowboys, or hell, we could probably throw in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up there too, right? He just a decent offensive line, a little bit of time, he can do great things, I think, still. But still to be determined. Old Man River says, if he has time, he still has the skills and the receivers will help. Exactly. The New York Jets had the worst offensive line ever last season. Every time Aaron Rodgers would step back, do a 5-step drop, he had somebody in his face. Now, let me just look it up to confirm, but I am pretty sure they were a bottom tier or like the bottom 20 um offensive line. New York Jets O-line ranking. I spelled Frankings, but they so they said the New York Jets offensive line has been fluctuating rankings through the 2024 season. They were initially were ranked 6th. Midseason, they were 17th, and they finished 27th per PFF. So 27th ranked offensive line last season for the New York Jets. You cannot have a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that is not mobile, that cannot get out of the pocket, that just needs 3 seconds. He has one of the quickest releases we've seen in the NFL in a very, very long time. But yeah, I mean, definitely, right? Definitely. And Old Man River says, I think he would finally help JJ too because he's out of his way. So JJ McCarthy obviously might need that father figure come up bringing, right? Because if you think about this logically, Old Man River, Zach Wilson was a sinking ship. He was a duck on the pond and he was upside down. His legs were going, blah, 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 right? Aaron Rodgers came in there. Granted, he only played 3 snaps and bada bing, bada boom. Zach Wilson was right back in there. But Zach Wilson had so much improvement just over that summer with Aaron Rodgers there. Think about it if JJ McCarthy is with Aaron Rodgers full season, off-season workout, OTAs, whatever, right? Yes, it is crazy. But Old Man River says, check the Vikings old line on the same stat line. I actually know the old line, the Vikings their stat line. They were ranked 17th, so they're ranked 17th with their was it the left tackle or left guard going down versus the Rams. They replaced him. Whatever, they will be much improved. But guys, this is a